Hi everyone, Namaste. My name is Ekta.
Well, I'm Paras, and we are co-founders of Dhaarna.
Well, Bharadwaj is a non-profit initiative that aims at creating mental health awareness at no cost. Bharadwaj is a global platform which is now registered under 12A ATG.
Well, in the year 2020, we came up with an initiative called as My Mental Health, My Priority. It is a free certification program on mental health awareness. I wish to thank everyone for your support and encouragement, and you prioritizing mental health as your topmost goal. We at Dhaarna were able to reach 7,000 plus registration across 50 different countries. This program is also available in Hindi, so I urge everyone, if you haven't taken this free certification program yet, please take this program, share it with your friends, family, neighbors, schools, teachers, hospitals, different communities, as well as corporates. Because with your support, we wish to aim reaching 1 million people.
Well, October 2020 was super hit for Dhaarna with your continuous encouragement. We had various panel discussions that covered topics for individuals covering areas like mental health and gender well-being. So we covered sensitive areas like body shaming. We also came up with different ways of healing. We had panel discussions that spoke about how mental health is perceived across the globe. We also had a wonderful discussion that spoke about how mental health has evolved in generations from 1960 till 2020. And all of these discussions were in Hindi, English and Marathi.
Well, rightly shared by Ekta were the list of activities that took place in October 2020 and were coined as mental health matters. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for showing your care, support, and encouragement in the year 2020. And I want to take a pause here, and I also wish to seek an apology on behalf of Dhaarna for not showing our presence in the year 2021. Unfortunately, me and my family went through some series of health issues. We have taken enough rest, we are healed now, and we are back on our vision. So please join me, I invite everyone to join me on my vision of building emotions and strengthening people locally and globally.
Well, October 10th is celebrated as Mental Health Awareness Day across the globe. And Dhaarna is back with their Mental Health Matters Season 2. And I would say, trust us, we're going to get some more authentic content this time. So stay tuned and watch out for the space.
Remember that mental health is not a destination. It is a process. It is a journey. So have patience and keep moving.
We would need your continuous love, your support. Your encouragement is our source of motivation at Dhaarna. So be with us and thank you so much for listening, everyone. Namaste.
Namaste. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Hello everybody, Namaste. Good evening. Well, just want to check in with everybody if you're able to hear my voice. Am I audible? Am I visible? So first of all, everybody know I'm Paras. I'm a co-founder of Dhaarna. Well, me and my sisters had a dream to start this platform. So Dhaarna is a not-for-profit initiative, a platform that aims at creating mental health awareness at no cost. We are a 12A ATG registered Section 8 company, and this October we have come up with a Season 2 on mental health matters. So I firstly like to check with you all, how are you, if you're able to hear me, if you're able to understand me, just let me know as well. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm just checking if you're able. I'm visible. Yeah. If I'm visible now, yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. So today we are here with a wonderful topic, a topic that we all would like to learn and unlearn a little bit. get some more clarity. The topic that we aim to unfold today is, can you guess? It is blue there everywhere, so if there's any possibility to check. The topic that we're exploring today is on depression. Beating the blues. How do we do that? And for that, I would like to introduce to you to our today's speaker. Okay, so first let me get her on our screen. Just give me 1 second. Yes. Namaste, Dr. Dharna ji. How are you?
Namaste. I'm good. How are you, Paras?
I'm doing excellent. And कैसा महसूस हो रहा है कैसा महसूस कर रहे हो तवा मित्र प्लेटफॉर्म में how are you
I'm
feeling?
very excited.
Excellent. So let me just take a few moments to introduce you, to Dr. Dharna. Dr. Dharna Bharadwaj is a wellness practitioner and a career development facilitator, founder and director of Pratiti Luminaries. She is a professionally qualified counseling psychologist with a doctorate in psychology. She's also a member of American Psychological Association. She has extensively worked in the field of education and psychology for the past 2 decades. Co-author of many books, and also her articles are published on many local and global platforms. She has a green belt in career counseling and also a gold medalist in international diploma in guidance and counseling from NCERT. So I welcome you at the Omitram platform. Thank you for sharing your expertise and enlightening people and helping people to become more sensitive and become more aware about mental health and mental health awareness across the globe. So maybe Tava Mitram, we at Tava Mitram, as you know, we spread awareness on mental health. Our major goal at Tava Mitram is to help people to find answers to things which are very difficult on the internet, and then people read articles and things. So maybe we have curated few questions for you, Dr. Dharna. And so we'd like to ask you and understand from your perspective, from your expertise, from your experience, how you could help the audience to relate to this topic. So, my first question to you is that is a lot is spoken today and written about depression. What the audience is very curious to learn is how can we simplify this depression, the concept of depression to a common man, एक common इंसान depression को कैसे समझ सकता है? Because today when I ask people about depression in general, oh my God, no, मेरे को कुछ नहीं हुआ है. So this is what the experience we had. Okay, so ऐसा लगता है कि कोई बड़ा सा stone है. Okay, and वो अभी कैसे भी करके आके सबको कुचल जाने वाला है. So just would like to learn from you, how can you help us to simplify depression?
Very rightly said, Paras. So first of all, कोविड ने हमें ये तो एक बहुत अच्छा सा सबक दे दिया है कि फिजिकल हेल्थ ही नहीं, मेंटल हेल्थ भी बहुत जरूरी है. We really need to take care of our mental health. And one thing which was very, very common, otherwise also depression is something which is very common. Anxiety and depression were prevalent because of the loss we had during COVID times. सो डिप्रेशन को अगर मैं सिंप्लीफाई करना चाहूँ तो मैं इसको इस तरह से कहूँगी कि डिप्रेशन एक बहुत ही कॉमन, बहुत सीरियस पर काफ़ी ट्रीटेबल डिज़ीज़ है, डिसऑर्डर है, राइट? सो पर हाँ, जैसे आपने कहा, बहुत सारा स्टिग्मा भी अटैच्ड है. डिप्रेशन इज़ सराउंडेड बाय लॉट ऑफ स्टिग्मा. इट इज़ अ वेरी, वेरी मिसअंडरस्टूड डिसऑर्डर. सो यदि आपके आसपास आप देखते हैं कि मैं ज़्यादातर देखती हूँ मेरे प्रैक्टिस में जैसे पेरेंट्स लेके आते हैं बच्चों को और कहते हैं कि बच्चा बच्चा बिल्कुल भी मैडम कुछ नहीं करता है, पढ़ाई नहीं करना चाहता है, दिन भर अपने कमरे में बैठा रहता है. तो people are not able to understand it's not lethargicness. It's not about not doing anything, but this is the symptom of depression. So they think they are not willing to do it. There is some problem with the willingness, though it is not like that. And also, it is thought as character flaw. Something is wrong with this person, so that's why he is doing or she is doing whatever it is. एंड हमारे जो दोस्त भी होते हैं वो हमारा अच्छा चाहते हैं, भला चाहते हैं, बट अक्सर कर वो भी इस तरह की बात करते हैं, अरे जस्ट यू नीड टू स्माइल, जस्ट स्नैप आउट ऑफ इट, It's just in your head. You just need to move a little bit. थोड़ा बाहर निकलो, घूमो फिरो, अच्छा लगेगा. So they are not able to understand. This is a very invisible disease. दिखता नहीं है डिप्रेशन. इसकी सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत यही है. So basically, it is manifesting or expressing in form of your thought, your feelings, and your behavior. So इन तीनों थॉट्स, फीलिंग्स और बिहेवियर के माध्यम से ये अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपको पूरे दिन भर उदासी फील होगी, आपको ऐसा लगेगा, वर्थलेसनेस लगेगी, गिल्ट फील होगा, सैडनेस भी लग, परसिस्टेंट. डिप्रेशन का एक ये भी फीचर है कि कंटिन्यूअस आपको सैडनेस लगता है. यू परसिस्टेंटली फील सैड, राइट? इट डजंट गो अवे, सैडनेस डजंट गो अवे. तो ये सारे फीचर्स, इमोशंस बहुत ज्यादा ये इस तरह के होते हैं, मूड स्विंग्स होते हैं आपको. सेकेंडली, फिर कुछ आपके एंगेजमेंट्स जो होते हैं, जो सोशल एक्टिविटीज होती है, वो आपकी कम हो जाती हैं. यू डोंट फील लाइक डूइंग एनीथिंग, गोइंग एनीवेयर, यू विथड्रॉ फ्रॉम पीपल, यू डोंट इवन फील लाइक अप्रोचिंग योर फैमिली मेंबर्स. दैट इज द ग्रेटेस्ट डिफिकल्टी. अब आप सबसे पहले तो अपने आप को सबसे अलग कर लेते हैं. So it is difficult to understand because it is not visible also, you're not expressing also, you have withdrawn also. So these are the things, and definitely it impacts your day-to-day functioning.
True. So, what I understand from this conversation is what is not visible, वो हमेशा ignore किया जाता है. Whatever is visible, if I'm not feeling, if I have a temperature, I go to a doctor and बाबा मुझे fix कर दो इस चीज़ के बाद, there's a medication. But then something which is invisible and something which is not seen by the other person. So ये चलता है attitude बहुत है कि हाँ आप snap हो जाओगे, and that's not true because a lot of people just don't get up from there. It's being there for long for them. So, Dr. Dhanaji, why there is so much of shame around or stigma around depression or mental health in general, but मैं अभी depression के बारे में कि a lot of clients that I have worked in the past, or I'm sure everybody, you all have been doing that, but मेरे experience में कि किसी को बोलना नहीं. They would probably like to call me up and say that we would like to meet you just, and then they would check if there is anybody watching. So ऐसा क्यों होता है? Why is it something like that from your end?
So the stigma is not alone, you know, playing a factor in India. It is across the globe. People don't want to tell that they are suffering from depression. So the very first thing is people think there is something wrong with the person, and the person is acting out, wants more attention. इसको ऊपर की, हम हिंदी में अगर इसको बोलेंगे तो इसको ऊपर की हवा लग गई है, इसका झाड़ा फूका करा दो. So he has been possessed or she has been possessed. So person doesn't want to get traumatized by getting labeled. So,
True.
and there is another factor. The person is deprived of, job opportunities also, many other opportunities. Even if there is a marital proposal coming, if somebody comes to know, then that can also be a very valid reason for, getting rejected. So mental health awareness is not there. People do not understand that it is very treatable. And secondly, it's very normal. 1 out of 6 people in India, they are suffering from depression.
True.
So this is a huge number. Millions of people are suffering from mental health disorders, and this is very common. And we have to accept it. We have to spread awareness. That is one thing which stops people to express themselves. They don't want to be seen in that light. We all want to be seen the way we are rather than being labeled in some category. So we are people, the person may be with depression. So that is the thing. Rather, we just think that he is depressed, she is depressed, like that. No, we need not label people. We have to be empathetic. So that is lacking somewhere. That is the reason.
Thanks for normalizing it. Just listening to you makes me feel like okay, this is okay to be not okay. Sometimes it is okay not to label myself as is something wrong with me, but it's something that maybe I'm right now not feeling well. Temperature is there. I'll have medicines. I'll be fine. In the same way, I could probably go to either a medical practitioner or a mental health worker and also heal myself. So thanks for sharing that. The next question that we have for you, Dr. Dana, is depression is synonymously used with sadness. Okay, like how do we differentiate the two? Is sadness a prerequisite to depression? What are your thoughts on the same?
Sure. So the thing is that sadness is a temporary thing. So sadness is an emotion, normal emotion. We feel sad so many times, Paras. You may be feeling sad throughout the day. At times we feel angry. At times we feel excited, joy. All these things are normal emotions. But sadness and these normal emotions, they just go away after some time. They do not stay for a longer time. Depression is not like that. Depression stays for a very long duration in some people who are like having severity. However, depending on how much depression has affected the person would maybe some people feel depressed throughout the day. Some people feel depressed sometimes, some days, like that.
So, what I also understand here is that just like emotions are more like ebb and flow, आते हैं जाते हैं. Okay, but when it comes to depression, is a little deep rooted. We need to really need an external help. So, how can we, set up a help, help spectrum also? like uh, like going to a therapist, going to a doctor. Some people just say, "Oh, I'll talk to my friend. I'll be all right." So how can we? How can, because there are a lot of parents and a lot of puberty and adolescent children. How would they understand, or so if you would like to share कि क्या spectrum हम रख सकते हैं, क्या क्या एक criteria or flow रख सकते हैं जहाँ कि बाबा मुझे आज अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है तो maybe first I need to talk to my parents, or I need to reach out to somebody, or do I need to immediately go to a doctor? So anything from your end, Dr. Dharna?
Yeah. So usually we see it as we may have a mild symptom or we may have moderate or maybe severe depression. So depending on the symptoms of depression, how much pervasive they are, how much severity is there. These are the two factors which we take in consideration. So let's say थोड़ा sadness है, आ रहा है और जा रहा है. Some days you feel like this, some days you don't. That means what? That means that you have a mild depression. How your day-to-day functioning at times may be affected, but little bit, not very noticeable. However, the same thing when increases in severity, a bit more severe than the mild one. So here, what happens is it also starts affecting your confidence levels, your self-esteem, right? And then also the level is such that now it has started affecting your daily day-to-day functioning, like your workplace, your productivity. All these things go down the spiral. So maybe still people are not able to, understand that, but a lot of feelings of guilt, helplessness, hopelessness, they start prevailing. There would be a significant increase or decrease in diet, or significant increase or decrease in sleep disruption would be there. We can say so. So these things would be there, and other than that, you will be consistently feeling sad for let's say 4 days in a week, maybe, and profound sadness would be there, crying spells will be there, mood swings will be there. पर अगर यही चीज हम कहते हैं कि और ज्यादा सिवियरिटी की तरफ चली जाती है तो डेफिनेटली दिस इज even if it is moderate and when it is shifting towards the severity scale where other features start coming. फॉर एग्जाम्पल साइकोटिक फीचर्स आ जाते हैं या फिर कई लोगों को सीजन से अफेक्ट होने लग जाता है देयर मूड्स व्हेन winters come there is isolation also, like during covid so many people started feeling very lonely. So we call it major depressive disorder, mdd. It is there are various forms of depression. Now the thing is it may have these psychotic features, which means सिंपल टर्म्स में कहें तो साइकोटिक फीचर का मतलब होता है कुछ ऐसी चीजें सुनना जो दूसरे नहीं सुन पा रहे, लुकिंग एट मतलब कुछ ऐसी चीजें देखना हम देख पा रहे हैं जो दूसरा नहीं देख पा रहा है, या फिर delusional beliefs. You start believing in something which is not there, which is not real. So that thin line between the reality and what is not there, it's blurred. Okay. So these are some factors, and then there may be one another form of depression, which is the bipolar. So the, it's like a roller coaster, bipolar. So at times you're very elated, and at times you're down in dumps. So down in dumps is the depressive phase. So any of these things can, it may be seasonal disorder, it may be a part of bipolar, the downward spiral, or it may be the clinical depression. Also, hormonal changes also at times, cause uh, let's say the after pregnancy, after delivery also severe symptoms would be there. For example, the baby, let's say loss of baby also, or even let's say normal baby is there, so that those blues will go away for normal people after some time, for in days, maximum week. But in depression, postpartum depression, it continues. So the severity is too much, you are not able to function, your ability to do day to day things which you were easily doing, you are not able to do. कहने का मतलब है कि जैसे दो चीज, लॉस ऑफ प्लेजर भी बहुत होता है इसमें. So the two features very prominent. So one is persistent sadness, and then you are withdrawing, or you just don't engage in any activity. These are very hallmarks. And one more thing, in the severity scale, we will also consider suicidal ideations.
Yes.
So you must immediately, when somebody, the person who has come to you and is, confiding in you and telling that I am planning like this, or I have these ideation, please do not shy away. आप आराम से पूछिए कि क्या लग रहा है आपको, आपके कोई plans है क्या? Immediately we need to, put the person in support system, connect the person with a psychiatrist, psychologist, any helpline numbers which we have. So this is to be treated really, really seriously. So not to be taken very lightly. Usually people think कि नहीं attention के लिए ऐसा कह रहे हैं, but we have to be very, very clear about it. So this is one.
Wow, there's a lot of richness in the content, you know. So what I also learn is that is a कि एकदम extremely high energy and एकदम low energy जब भी जाते हैं. So parents or partners, spouses can just become mindful about each other's, the style of communication. If there is a withdrawal, or if there is some sort of too much of energy, and immediately the following time it's just stripping down. So I think that's a very good sign for like a like an assessment to check in. Okay, something seems to be different than earlier, because we all change as person, but this seems to be a very disruptive change. So my following question to you is that maybe I'm a person. There's a population of the country where we do not have enough awareness to go to a therapist or counselor or psychologist or psychotherapist or psychiatrist. Okay, so does our brain have does our brain know how to manage depression? Because because I've seen certain people. It's like they grow and then and but they are not happy inside. There's a lot of vacuumness inside. What successful hai, but vacuumness. So how how does the brain know that okay, Baba, ये sensitive है, इसको depression ज़्यादा होगा? What are your thoughts on the same part of it? Yeah.
Uh, so basically, I will answer it in two ways. The very first thing which I would like to say is that brain is very malleable. There is a concept called neuroplasticity.
Yes.
So, so definitely, if we do the right things, we start doing, practicing the coping skill, the brain will start forming new tracks or new pathways, neural pathways, and definitely you go towards the normalcy, or we will say towards the wellness spectrum. You will enhance your well-being. So this is one thing. So definitely doing the right things. Right things. What are the right things here? Right things are doing exercise, because that is the first thing which we tell in the therapy, the behavioral activation. Then taking care of your diet, because even researchers say that taking the right nutritious diet also enhances the neurochemicals in the brain and helps with the uplifting of the depression. So then doing mindfulness practices, uh, trying to, or let's say, managing emotions, regulating the emotions through various, practicing certain skills with the therapist. And these are very, very small, small things. And even if you don't feel like doing something, but just start doing, just take, for example, pour out your emotions, write it down somewhere, or speak out to somebody, go find your support system. All these things will help you cope better. And definitely the neural pathways, now new neural pathways will form again and again when you do these things. The brain changes itself.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. I think for people who are in a mild depression, I think they can cope better. But the moment severity aa jati, I think people need to really go back to find a,
Definitely, there is no second thought about it. The mild depression is still you can, manage and cope. I'll strongly recommend that when you see that the spectrum is towards the severity, and the sadness is persistent, it doesn't go away. Because for some people, there is another form of depression which is not that, severe, but it continues, persistent heavy, which is, across the years. Like, for example, 2 years that you feel the same way, you feel little bit sad, but not fully functioning. Okay, so we call it dysthymia, so mood disorder hai. So basically, you need to take some help, or if it is towards the severity, because psychotic breakdown may happen. So we need to be definitely very, very alert. And definitely, the first thing is, see, either go to the psychiatrist or reach out to a psychologist. I would strongly recommend going to both, because both the things will help. Only medicine also helps. Only psychotherapy also helps if it is moderate. But in severity, a combination of two is wonderful. So definitely strongly recommend to reach out to the practitioners.
thank you for that. Thanks for sharing this aspect. Now, the other question that I have from the audience for you is um, I think today people's life are impacted, or we say people are easily disappointed. Let's say हम workplace में जाते हैं, we are at workplace, and then I want to climb the ladder. I want to become a CEO or CFO, or I'm seeking for promotion. I worked hard. Unfortunately, somebody else got it. Or maybe in social life, I want to be more popular. I need to have many people on my LinkedIn and stuff, Facebook followers. But then I don't see that growth. So there's a lot of disappointment. Again, in personal life, I wanted to do something else in my life, but because of my family pressure, I picked up, or my love life is not really going well. What I expected and what is the outcome I get. So I see there is a lot of expectations, desires, okay, and also demands people have from their lives. And if I go back to my parents or my grandparents, I think they had a lot of patience. So बाद में हो जाएगा और कुछ चीजें छूटने दो, or if things are going, it's okay. But today's generation, I see people get easily disappointed, or they just have certain demands in their life, or expectations are not fulfilled. So they become more anxious. So how, and then they end up choosing different paths, or maybe getting into drugs, maybe sleep disorders, not able to sleep, not able to have food, then gets into the depression, moves like very fast for them. Okay, so how do we really look at expectations and depression, in terms of how do we really work on our expectations? Or what are your thoughts on the same? If I'm able to express a very big question to you, but yes, Dr. Dharna.
So that is the pursuit of happiness, or success, which never ends. So you always, there would be somebody who is better than you. Always, it's like, in the childhood you wanted some toy. Then when you grew little bit elder, then you wanted that achievement. educational achievement, then you wanted success in your career. Then it doesn't stop there. Then you wanted a beautiful spouse or a handsome, guy in your life. Then culminate. It doesn't culminate there. Then you want a very genius child. Then you this thing continues. It doesn't stop anywhere. So basically, disappointment is something, when your expectations are too high and the reality is something else. That is disappointment. And it is very normal. I mean, life is like that. Such is the way of life. You cannot, control, you don't have any control over life. एंड अगर अदरवाइज ऑल्सो अगर हम देखें तो लाइफ में हमें कुछ चीजों को स्वीकारना पड़ता है वी हैव टू एक्सेप्ट द थिंग्स एज दे आर else we start going into the downward spiral. The moment we start telling ourselves, okay, I did not get this, that means having a growth mindset, so that it is a window of opportunity. Maybe there's something else I need to look at, right? Maybe I'm not there yet, rather than being in power of not yet, rather than tyranny of now. I think that is something which I'll strongly say, that we need to look at it. What do we want? So just, okay, I'm not there yet, but I'll be there. Practicing those, and I also don't say, please don't suppress your emotions. That doesn't help. So rather better it is that let it out, let it go with some mindfulness activities. Express yourself, and think whether your values are aligning with your goals or not. That is more important. And it is a journey, as you said, right? So I would say that, okay, you're not there, but you have not looked at the process. You had victories when you look back. When you connect the dots, things were like working fine, but you only thought of that one thing. I did not get that one thing. If only I get that, then I'll be happy. So we need to relook at our perspectives, think of alternatives, and specifically in therapy, we strongly recommend CBT because it changes the perspective of the person. Very, very super helpful in depression.
Yeah.
Same here. Because this depression, this disappointment, if it persists, if the person keeps on feeling anxious all the time, or feels sad about the things he or she doesn't have, definitely these negative ruminating thoughts, excessive worries, somewhere or the other may start affecting the person.
Absolutely. I think we all have many choices. We just don't need to get stuck with that particular choice and get impacted and feel hopeless about our own self. So I think that was a very important part you covered right now is to just not get, in order to not get disappointed, start accepting things the way they're coming in. वो जो बन एक मूवी था जिसमें बोला जाता है दीपिका पादुकोण कि बनी कुछ चीज़ें लाइफ में छूट जाती है तो छोड़ने दो it's okay and you can move on and you can have many other things as well. So I think
Correct.
very important for everybody, not only any particular generation.
Oh,
So
beautifully said, Paras. Even it reminds me of that film Three Idiots. All is well. You have to tell yourself all is well. Need not feel anxious all the time.
true, true. I think all is well is one of the most effective guru mantra I've ever seen. The moment there's a pressure, the moment you start talking to yourself, I think this is self-talk really does wonders, with that.
Correct.
So wonderful. I think I'm just mindful about the time that we have. So maybe I'll just pick up one question from 3-4 that we have. But this question is mainly for people in corporates. So so what I want to bring it to check with you, what are your perspectives on the same? There are many people in corporates today who are tagged as procrastinator hai, yeah, lazy hai, not focused at work, okay, not doesn't do the work properly, okay, and they just end up compartmentalizing. Important projects रहेंगे, so let's not hire these people or this particular thing because they're not focused yet. But maybe not sure whether they're not focused or are they depressed or there's something else, some other mental health they're going through. So a lot of people end up either losing good opportunities just because certain people in the organization, the decision makers, end up saying that okay, we will not hire these people. So how would HR human resource team or managers or project leaders of the organization can become more mindful and sensitive towards mental health, how we could help, how they could help the employees who are undergoing through mental health illness with more empathy and also sensitivity. हम क्या कर सकते हैं? What can we do here? Yeah, what are your thoughts?
So, the very first thing is during the COVID, one thing which happened was there was a blurring of the boundaries between the work and the family life. The extended period of hours of work. आप घर पे भी काम लेके and every time you're on the phone, right? And then you have to do other things also because mates were not coming. You had no house help, nothing else. But all the time we were working for extended periods. What happened then? There was a burnout. So now some organizations started doing certain wonderful things. So what they did was they have started understanding this, and rather than expecting the employees to be there for the whole time, some of them have started giving Fridays off. Some have started giving the Mondays off, and yeah, so you can be productive in a limited period of time rather than just. And when you are there, you are working properly. You're doing 10, 12 hours of work. And also, other than the sickness leave, some organizations have also started giving the wellness leaves. So this connotation itself that it is a wellness leave, elevates or lifts the stigma. Okay, so people also don't feel shy, or they would like to seek that, and we have, organizations also understand that there is a burnout, and in COVID, they had observed that people have stopped taking, they didn't take leave because they were at home only. So they are also encouraging that people should, for recreation purpose only, or for just, feeling better, going outside somewhere, they must take leave. So this is one thing which has happened, which is really, really good. Another thing is we need to create ecosystems where
Yeah.
there is openness, where there is a conversation about mental health. If the HR see that there is a decrease in productivity, so having a chit chat and basically it would be more digging deeper into the psyche and understanding the thought patterns, what is happening with the person. Because at times what happens, it's not only work which is getting affected. Maybe the person is undergoing something in the family also, maybe with something with the child, maybe something within himself or herself. So there are so many factors which affect a person. So being little bit more mindful, having open conversations, having, inviting people who are experts, delivering such talks, having a psychologist. So if the organization is really big, so obviously being mindful of the ratio, so
Yes.
that is also very important according to me.
So thank you. I think you really brought in like an ecosystem of mental health awareness should be there. It should be treated not like just at one corner, but it is as a whole society to flourish. I think I also truly acknowledge and echo this part of it that we need to hire more counselors and psychologists and psychotherapists in the company because a lot of stress is found in corporate and the ratio is pretty less. Even the other day when I was talking to somebody in school and they said that we have one counselor and then there's so many students and with that one counselor, two counselors, would that be helpful? So I think there's a lot of need now that organizations should become more sensitive to look at this not as an expense but as an investment or some sort of positive culture to so that organizations and companies can grow. So thank you so much. That was a wonderful a learning experience I could have, and also the audience could take a lot of interesting insights from this conversation. You really made depression as very normal, and it's like it's just a conversation we could have with anyone without any shame. So, in order for people, if you really liked Dr. Dana's conversation and the way she expressed, and if you want to reach out to Dr. Dharna, okay, so um, her organization is Pratiti Luminaries Private Limited. They are based out of Rajasthan and they're open for online support as well. Am I correct, Dr. Dana? As well,
Yeah.
yeah. So the contact credentials you'll see in the right now on the display, so you can anytime touch base with them. And just to share with you everyone that all these conversations that we're having is to make mental health as a normalized conversation, and we also aim to reach 1 million people with your support. So Tavamitram vision is about building emotions and strengthening people locally and globally. So please do look out for our upcoming programs. Every month we come up with one or two programs on behalf of the Mitram for spreading mental health awareness. And also, in the meanwhile, do access a free certification program on mental health, which is called My Mental Health, My Priority. This program is also available in English and Hindi. So I urge everyone to take this free certification program, share it with as many people as you can, because we aim at reaching 1 million people with your support. So before I say goodbye to everybody, I would like to reach out to Dr. Dharna. Maybe any tips or any 5 things or 2 things or 3 things that we can do for getting this this beating this blues of depression. In fact.
Sure. So the very first thing I would strongly recommend is writing a journal, expressing your thoughts in form of a journal, because a reflection helps you to think from an alternative perspective. So that would be the first thing. Then you may not feel like doing certain things, but starting small activities which you earlier liked, to start doing those things. One small thing at a time, one task at a time. And other than that, you should practice mindfulness exercises, breathing exercises simply. They are also very super helpful. Please exercise, do whatever activity you love. For sure, you won't feel like doing too much, but start with small baby steps, and definitely you'll start liking. Just start bit by bit, and you would be able to feel better. And other than that, please consult a psychologist, a psychotherapist, and don't shy away. Share with your friends. Also, I would say that one thing which is very important is that it is nothing to feel shy about. It's very normal. As if you have, when you have a disease, you simply, let's say, you feel that there is fever, or you're feeling cold, which is not going away. Flu is there, so you go to the doctor. Similarly, same thing you need to do here and reach out. We are very accessible and very reachable. So we really need to create awareness, talk more about mental health, so that people start feeling, comfortable seeking help and reaching out. So this would be my one message.
Yeah, I could see my background has turned green now from the blues. I'm sure it's very insightful session, and I think it's going to be very helpful. This all different tips that you've shared. So I would like to share again with everybody: mental health is not a destination; it is a process. So it is a journey. So have patience and keep moving ahead in life. Namaste to everybody. Thank you once again, Dr. Dharna, for joining. Thank you, audience, for joining in. And
Namaste.
Vande Mataram to everyone. Thank you.